Yo, what's up, guys? It is Friday, 22nd of November 2024. I hope you're all doing all right. And basically, this is going to be a detailed breakdown of the London session. I am going to waste no time. I'm going to get straight into this. So basically, I'm just going to break it down. I'm going to give tips for myself and how to improve, and maybe hopefully you guys can use those tips to improve yourself. So this is for me and you guys as well. Anyhow, so let's just look at the higher time frame first. Higher time frame, we're in a bearish trend. So overall, we're in a bearish trend. Shoot down to the 1 hour. Okay, it's showing more information. It should not show this much information, but we go down to the 1 hour. This is how it would look like. It would kind of look like this at the time that we were looking at it. So we know there's a 1 hour supply over here. That's cool. We just take notice of that, but that's about it. Then we shoot down to the lower time frame, so 15 minute. And we can see that Asia was just kind of going down a bit. We identify a 15-minute supply right here. So we identify a 15-minute supply that we'd be cautious of. So 15-minute supply. We can just shoot down to the 5 minute from here, really. And we can see when London came in, London came with an aggressive sweep downwards and they start pushing up. Usually when there's an aggressive sweep, we look for a buy up as long as it followed some other criterias that there's no point in me really getting into right now. However, what we do notice straight away is there's a trend line building right here. This building up liquidity. So shoot down to the 1 minute. We can do the 1 minute from here. So although there was an aggressive sweep, there was no clean change of character. Since this was an aggressive sweep, if a clean change of character happened with a clean break of structure on the 1 minute and then tapped into the demand before it reached the supply, I would be like, buyers are in more control. But however, we don't really have much information right now. We're still painting a picture. So we've had an aggressive sweep. It's just kind of been floating up. It's building up people, but we're not really getting much information. It reacted off a supply. It went down. It came back up, and it took out the supplies. So we're still painting an image here. It's changed. It's had an aggressive sweep. It's breaking the supplies, but it's also not really tapping into demands. I did point this out over here while I was analyzing the market this morning. I was using this as an SMT, a smart money trap. So a smart money trap is basically where people get induced to buy early or sell early, but then it ends up taking them out. So it's still painting an image. It's floating around. It hasn't tapped into our 15 minute. And what happened? Bam! It tapped into our SMT. I said this might be an SMT. We don't know if it's an SMT yet. So we don't know if it's a smart money trap just yet. We need some more information. Yeah. So I was thinking here, okay, buyers could be more on demand. It tapped into this demand, which could be a fake demand, but it tapped into the demand and it hasn't tapped into the supply. So right now, buyers are more in power. It keeps going. Bam. Price tapped into supply and it didn't create and hold on. It tapped into supply and it failed to create a higher high. So we know this is an SMT now. Why is it an SMT? An SMT is something that looks like a demand or a supply, but it fails to create a higher high or a lower low. So you see, although when after it tapped in, it did go higher, but it did not close. It did not close, so that does not count as a higher high. It failed to create a higher high, so that's a fake demand. So now we're getting more information. So far, we have supply tapped into demand. Well, it did look like a demand, but it failed. So we have no demand tapped. We have a supply tapped. We've had pretty much the information that we're getting right now is really just telling us that suppliers are more in power. We have a change of character right here. We actually have for the first time, we have a clean change of character. So since we have a clean change of character, we're waiting for this to kind of be taken. We're waiting for this to be taken. A BOS. We're waiting for a break of structure because on the 1 minute time frame, we wait for a change of character followed with a break of structure. Once the break of structure gets confirmed, then we can actually be like, okay, this is the true market shift. So yeah, we're still just wondering. Bam, price closed. Price closed on the 1 minute. Let's clean up the chart so it looks a lot more better for you guys. So we know that was We know that was a failed one. Why was it failed? We have more confirmation that it was a fake demand. It failed to create a higher high, and it broke this demand as well. So we know sellers are 100% in control right now. 100% in control. There is one zone that we do have to be cautious of, which is here. This right here is the last point that price can respect. If price breaks past this, if price breaks past this zone, it means all buys are invalid and you should only look for sells. So, anyways, but so far we have the information we need. We've had price going up. We haven't had it really tap into a demand just yet. It did tap into a demand, but it was an SMT, so it was a trap. So it was a fake demand that doesn't count then. It tapped into our 15-minute supply. We're painting more of a narrative here. And we've had a change of character and we've had a break of structure. This has given us overwhelming information that we can take sells here. So we mark off the last order block, which was here, and we can just cover this little high over here because it's right there. You don't want to get wicked out just slightly and for it to go down. And this is where the change of character happens. So that was the close. So we have two order blocks right here. So once price taps into here, so when it closed, so once price taps into here, we look for a sell over here, and if this fails, then we look for a sell over here, and then we just let price do its thing from there. So price tapped this in, lovely, 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 lovely. It's floating. What does price want to do? Price shoots down, breaking past the order block, and it also swept up all this liquidity. It swept up, it took out all these. So we've had the build up, we've had the structural low broken. The structural low broken gives us a sign that we can look for a sell. So a build up, a slight sweep that broke the structure. We had a mitigation, and we had the full sweep happen here. So with that full sweep happening, we can target a zone. We can target a take profit of, since there's no session nearby, I would have marked out, which I already have marked out from before. I have marked out a 4-hour prime zone marked out on the higher time frame, a 4-hour demand. Well, it's like a weekly refined to a 4-hour demand that I'm interested. And let's just see price play out. Does it reverse? Does it keep going? Does it reverse? Does it keep going? And it almost hit. It's reversing. It's retracing. Is it reversal? Is it retrace? News is gonna shoot in at 9:30, and bam, we hit our take profit. It hit our take profit, and that was a 25.75 RR. A 25.7 RR. That is ridiculous. That if we actually stick true to it, we could have had it over here, which would have been 27, but we were just being cautious. 25.75 RR. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So some information just on top of that, on that topic, is these are some things that I marked out as well while I was thinking. So I wasn't too sure where to draw the change of character or the break of structure, and I'm gonna show you guys why I didn't mark this one out as a break of structure over here. And the reason why is, while I was wondering, I was like, let me use my highlighter tool. Highlighter tool is quite good. So we got a low here, we got a high here, we got a low here, we got a high over here, we got a low over here, we got a high over here, we got a low over here. High, low, high, and it drops down from there. So as you can see, this was the low. And the next high that came after the low, which broke past all these highs, was over here. Around here, then I would count that as a low. But the only low that came after this was here before it came back up one more time, and then it went down. So this would be the first point, change of character, and then this would be the other point. You see how it aligns with my highlighter? It aligns perfectly. And we mark it off, and it taps us in, and it shoots down. And that was an amazing trade. That was an amazing. So some things I just want to mention to add to my tips for myself, and you guys can take it. Usually I don't trade on Thursdays and Fridays, but after seeing this information and watching the markets recently, I'm like, you know what? Thursdays and Fridays are good days to trade, even if the liquidity is slowing down. So I will start trading these days. News was approaching at 9:30, so I was like thinking there's nothing gonna happen. I usually don't trade at least an hour before before news. However, seeing with the information I have now, I would have stopped trading at 8:30, right? But I could have at least tapped in at 8:48. So what I'll do is, my new rule is don't trade 30 minutes before news, and you can trade 30 minutes after news. Don't don't enter a trade 30 minutes before news, because I would have been able to enter and it shot down as well. And yeah, that's really about it. So trade the Fridays and Thursdays. Don't enter 30 minutes before, or within 30 minutes of the news. Use the highlighter tool to identify clear break of structures and changes of characters. And second, number one, add to your strategy list that we go on the 1 minute time frame and we look for a clean change of character and a clean break of structure. And also to add, always paint out the narrative. Although price, because I was thinking earlier, there was no clean break of structure. I wasn't really happy with this change of character and this break of structure, and I was more biased to the buyer's side. But then I also got to confirm later on. So always stay flexible. So yeah, guys, that's a London session breakdown. New York is coming up very soon, and I'll be recording that, and I'll be uploading that in a bit. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you could have taken some value out of my information. Also, thank you, MFL, because I fixed my mic because of you. And I hope it's all better now. I hope the mouse is not distracting anymore. But yeah, thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the New York session.